due to a message released by the district collectorate that class up to class 8 the classes will be suspended due to the extreme cold climatic condition prevailing all over in India. So today you are getting the facility of the online classes on behalf of your school. As you are seeing that on the board, I have what I have written, that today we will discuss about the things that we had discussed in our earlier classes. And you all are aware that we had completed the tense. What are the different form of the tense, and what are the different structure along with the different name. So these all thing I think is quite confirmed to all of you, as I think this one is the first online classes. So I think it's a good idea from my side to all of you that why not to have a such type of revision online classes. So I think the tense is the first and the basic thing related to the English grammar, and revision I think is quite essential. If you only study, if you are coming only to school and going back to your home, I think this type of activity is not required. If you are not giving the time over revision, whatever it has been discussed in your class, and if you are not giving time, if you are not revising it at your home, then I think it's not good for your study activity, because the revision is, I think, is the one of the essential part of a student's life. As you are seeing that we are going to start without any further delay the revision of the tense, because this one is the basic thing. All the sentences of the English grammar, whether you are studying any subject, SST, science, math, there is a requirement to frame the sentences. So how you will be capable of framing the sentence? So these all sentences are framed according to the tense. So it is quite essential that you need to know the different name. I think it is quite clear to all of you, the names, the structure. But I think today we will discuss a little bit type of, this one is, you can say, is a type of revision class. So as you are seeing on the board, that what I have written here, I have written tense based voice. So I think you are all aware of this very fact. In our offline classes, there was a total discussion in the class about the tenses. That in the tense there are the three different forms. The first form is the present, second is the past, and the third is the future. As you all are aware here, the present possesses the four different forms. Past also possesses the four different forms, and future also possesses the four different forms. So altogether, how many forms of the tenses will be there? It will be 12. So I think 12 different forms named along with the structure, and it must be in your mind, so that ahead there will be no any problem when you will move ahead in class 9, in class 10. I think there is a much more discussion related to the tense, and there you will face one of the major problems while framing the sentence, that where to use do, where to use does, and where to use did. So to avoid such type of problems, to avoid such type of circumstances in your life, it is quite essential that you need to memorize the name along with the structure of the different tenses, because you have the sufficient time in your hand. And I think this one is quite essential that you need to learn it as early as possible. So this time I am going to revise it, I am going to give it my 100% in making your memory once again to that very level, so that everything should be in your mind at once. So today we will do that very task of revising the different form of the tenses, starting from the present and going to the future. So here what I have written, that along with the tense I will deal the voice also. So I think in the same time you will be capable of covering the both tense as well as voice. That's why there is a combination which I have written here, the tense based voice. That means to say here you will get the knowledge of the tense as well as the knowledge of the voice. So at the same time we are going to cover the two different things at the same time. So what we will do now, one by one I will discuss and I will tell. Only you need to have your conscious mind, you need to be alert that what I am telling. I think this one is going to be an important online session for all of you as you are sitting back at your home and enjoying this type of classes. So I think you need to have a complete attention. Alertness is quite essential. So I hope that you will be alert, you will pay attention on what I am saying, and we will use the different things related to the tense as well as the voice. These all things are so major. These all things are so major in your life. These all knowledge that I am giving you is so major, so small. But these small things will prove to be a bigger one. It will become a major portion of your life if you will tackle it right now, if you will handle it right now. So what I have written here, now I am going to start without any further delay. I am going to give my attention totally on the topic. So hope that you will enjoy the class. And the first what I have written here is the present tense. As you are saying that what I have written here, the present tense. So the first form of the present tense is what? Present indefinite tense. As in the class, it has been discussed, and you all are quite aware that the first form of the tense, present tense, is known by the name of the present indefinite tense. I think you are quite knowing about the name. And the same tense is having, this one is the name according to the old English grammar, and according to the modern English grammar, its name is simple present tense. Why I am going to deal it again and again? Because this one is the basic things. This one you can say is the soul of English grammar. And without the soul, body can't be alive. You can't survive without the soul. If your body is surviving, it's because of the soul inside it. So it is quite essential that why I am giving and I am going to do the same thing again and again. So you need to realize it. You need to recognize it. That what is the importance of this very structure in your life? Because ahead in the long run, it will prove a major thing of your life. So now we are going to start it without any further delay. As you are seeing that this one is the present tense, and present tense, the first one of the present tense is the present indefinite tense or simple present tense, as you are quite aware. And the structure for the present is that all the sentences of the present indefinite tense in the English grammar or wherever you will be capable of writing this very sentence of the present indefinite, all the sentences of the present indefinite will be based fully on this structure. This will be fully based on this structure, that there will be the inclusion of subject, and after subject there will be the use of V1 or V5, and then last is the object. There is another structure for the same simple present tense, that there is the use of do orders. So you need to memorize it. This one is a very small thing that you need to keep it in your mind, that in the English sentence, if there is the use of do orders without any hurdle and without any problem, you are quite capable of recognizing the sentence, that if the sentence is having do orders in it, that very sentence will be of simple present tense. So what the other structure for the simple present tense is here? Subject plus do orders plus V1 plus object. And these two structure, I think you need to keep in your mind, so that there will be no any problem. And these two structure will be in active voice. So for the active voice, the simple present tense possesses this two structures. So in tense, it also possesses these two structure. Now how you will be able to convert after recognizing the sentence, that this sentence is of simple present, how you will be able to convert it into the passive voice. So as you are seeing just below of it, what I have written, this one is the PV, that is the passive voice, that was the AV, that was the active voice. So if you are not going to recognize the sentence, and what is the basis of the recognition? The basis of your recognition will be this structure, that is the present indefinite. Once you are capable of recognizing the sentence, I think there will be no any hurdle in converting the sentence from active to passive. So first of all, your prior duty, your first duty is to memorize the structure of the simple present tense. So how will you convert the sentences of the simple present to passive voice? So this one is the structure, that the last portion of the sentence will become the starting portion of the passive voice, and the first portion of the active voice becomes the last portion of the passive voice. As you are capable of knowing that with simple present tense we use do or does. Does, I think, is the singular form and do is the plural form. So does will be used with the third person singular number, and you are all aware that what comes in third person singular number. Once again I am going to remind you about that in third person singular number, he, she, it and single name comes. Once again I am repeating it, he, she, it and single name comes. So along with he, she, it and single name, what you will use? You will use does. And along with I, we, you, they, plural name, what you will use? Do. Same is the story with V1 and V5. As you are knowing that V5 is the S or yes form of the verb, so V5 will be used with the third person singular number, that is the he, she, it single name. And V1 is also the plural form. So all the first form of the verb, or you can say the root form of the verbs, are plural. And all the fifth form of the verb, that is the S or yes form of the verbs, are singular. So the uses must be quite clear in your mind, that where to use V1 and where to use V5, where to use do and where to use does. And after do and does, if you are using the do or does in your sentence, always after do or does, it always will be followed by V1. It will be always followed by V1, the first form of the verb. So you need to keep it in your mind and try to avoid such type of fault, such type of mistakes, that after do or does, always there will be the use of V1. Now, coming to the passive voice structure, as we are saying that what I have written here, that this is the present indefinite structure of the active voice. Now for the passive, if you want to convert it into the passive, it will be the object. Then there will be the use of is and I think you are quite aware that where to use is and where to use are and where to use am. After that, there will be the use of V3 and then by and then subject. So following this structure, you are quite capable and perfectly and rightly you will be capable of converting all the sentences of the present indefinite tense, or you can say the simple present tense, from active to passive. So I think it is quite clear to all of you what I have mentioned here. This one is a revision class, and I think the knowledge of tense before moving to the class 9, you are quite recommended, you are quite and strictly said about your teacher that you need to memorize this all structure, because ahead it is going to be beneficial for all of you. If you are not going to do it right now, it will create many hurdles on your way of framing the sentences in English. So before that and before going to that very level, what you need to do, that you will have to memorize it as soon as possible. So this one was the story for the present indefinite tense. Now moving to the second form of the present tense. I think you all are quite aware what is the name for the second form of the present tense. As I think the second form of the present tense is known by the name of present continuous tense. I think in the class I had told you about the second present tense name, and it has three different names. And how and what are they? Let's see what are the three different names for the second form of the present tense. That is the B number. The second form of the present tense is present continuous or present imperfect and the third one is present progressive. present progressive tense. So while the name is the present progressive, as you are quite aware that present continuous tense is the name according to the modern English grammar, and present imperfect tense is name according to the old English grammar, and the third one, that is the present progressive tense. You are seeing why the name is the present progressive tense of this very tense? As I think this was the discussion, I had told you about the reason, about the mystery behind the name. Why present continuous is also known by the name of present progressive tense? It's because the work is still in progress at the time of speaking. It means what? That the work is still in progress. It has not been completed. It is still going on, and the speaker at the time of speaking, he is engaged in doing that very work. That's the reason why present progressive tense is known by the name of present progressive tense and present continuous tense or present imperfect tense. These all are the same. Now, about the name, after the name, we will know about the structure. That how you are capable of recognizing the sentence of the present continuous. What is the basic structure? I think you all are quite aware of it. There is no need to tell anything. And this present continuous tense in Hindi sentence, what you will see that in every Hindi sentence for present continuous tense, there will be the use of raha hai, rahi hai. What means to say that there will be the use of ing. Now we will look about the basic structure for the present continuous. So there will be the inclusion of subject, and after subject, since it is present tense, so you will use what? Is rm. Is rm. Now, one main thing that in present continuous tense there will be the use of no v3. There will be the use of the fourth form of the verb, as you are quite aware of it, that the fourth form of the verb is verb 1 plus ing. This is the ing form of the verb. So subject plus is rm plus v4. Then last it will be the object. This one will be the structure for the present continuous. For the active voice, as you are saying that what I have written here, AB. Now coming to the structure for the passive voice, that how you are capable of converting the sentences of the present continuous into passive voice. As you, what you are saying that there is the use of V4, that is the means to say that V1 plus ing. Now here, wherever in the sentence there is the use of ing, always for the passive conversion there is the use of being plus V3. So this one is the basic thing that you need to memorize, that for the present continuous tense there is the use of being plus V3 always. So what structure it will have? Object plus is rm is rm plus being plus v3 plus by, then last subject. This one is for the passive structure. So this one is the structure for the passive voice for the present continuous tense. I think these all things are quite clear to all of you, that how the structures are there for the passive and how the structures are there for active. So it will be the object, this object of active will become the subject of passive, and this subject of active will become the object of passive. Object plus is rm plus being plus v3 plus by plus subject. What it means? It means that using these all things you are quite capable of framing the sentence of your own. There will be no any problem in framing the sentence, and English is all about the sentence formation, because CBSE has eliminated so many different type of grammatical portion or the grammar portion in class 10, and they are preferring much more writing skill. So for the total and perfect writing skill, you must have the knowledge of the tense, that where to use do and where you to use does and where to use did. If right from now, if you will not engross yourself totally, fully over this all thing, it will be a big problem ahead waiting for you. So not to do this very mistake right now. And for your total welfare and for your total benefit ahead in class 9 and 10, this one is your prior duty right now to have and to memorize it by your heart right now, so that there will be no problem ahead. That's why I'm giving my time and I'm going to give you a revision lesson of the tense based voice, in which we are going to cover both tense as well as voice. Now these two forms for the present tense, as you are seeing, is quite clear to all of you. Now I'm moving to the third form of the present tense. It has been named as the past progressive because the work is still in progress at the time of the speaking. In this very sentence, there is also use of the before. Before means to say ing form of the verb. As I am seeing and I am writing here the third and the second form of the past tense, that is the past imperfect, or you can say past continuous tense, or past imperfect tense. And the third, the name is according to the verb, that is the past progressive. Past progressive tense. Now there is the use that you, after knowing the name, you need to know about the basic structure. Then what is the basic structure for the past continuous tense? Are you getting me clear what I am saying? Okay, come on. So the structure will be subject plus, since it is past, so there will be the use of was or were, plus before plus object. So this structure will be in AB, active voice. Now what will the passive structure? It will be object plus was or were. So one thing you need to memorize, that if there is the use of before in any sentence, in passive there will be the use of being. There will be the use of being. So it will be here the being plus B3 plus by, and the last will be the subject. So this one is the passive structure for the second form of the past tense. This is the past continuous. I think it is getting quite clear to all of you that what I am saying, because it has been discussed previously in your class earlier. This all thing I have discussed in the class. So for your revision work, I am telling and I am doing this all thing. So this one was the second form of the past tense, that is the past continuous tense or past imperfect tense or past progressive tense. So this one is the active structure and this one is the passive structure. Now moving to the third form of the past tense. Third form of the past tense is what? Look at here. Look here. Third form of the past tense is number C, past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. Now, for the past perfect tense, as from name it is quite clear, this one is in past form, so there will be the use of had. Subject plus had plus third form of the object, third form of the verb plus object. So had, you can say, is the second and the third form of the verb. What will be the first form of had? It is have. Have, had, having, had. So starting from the V1 and going to the V5, that is the form of the verb. So in the past perfect tense, there will be the use of had. So if you are capable of recognizing and remembering this structure without any problem and hurdle, you will be capable of memorizing and you are capable of knowing the sentence, that this sentence is framed on the basis of this structure. So I think the structure is quite essential to be remembered, to be memorized. So this one is the structure for the active voice. Once you will be able to memorize the structure, if the sentence will be presented in front of you, seeing the sentence and memorizing this structure, you will be capable of recognizing the sentence that, sir, this sentence is of the past perfect tense, because all the sentences of the past perfect is fully based on this structure, that is subject plus had plus D3 plus object. Now, what will be the passive structure? It will be the object, then had, then been. Then there will be the use of third form of the verb and lastly what you will put? Subject. So this will be the PD, that is the passive voice structure. So what you are doing and what I am doing, that you need to utilize this very moment, this very time. And for the second form, second past tense, and its third form is the past perfect tense. And all the sentences of the past perfect tense is based on this structure. And this will be also the passive structure, active structure, sorry. And what will be the passive structure? It will be object plus had plus been plus V3 plus subject. Now moving to the last form of the past tense, that is the fourth form. In modern English grammar, there is no use of passive for the fourth form of the past tense. So only here we will discuss about the name and the structure. So the last name of the past tense form is the past perfect continuous tense. Past perfect continuous tense. Now, what will be the structure? Its structure will be subject plus had plus been plus before plus object plus since or for. So this one is the structure for the past perfect continuous tense, which was the last form of the past tense. Now in this way we have covered all the four form of the present tense and all the four form of the past tense. Now only one thing is in our hand, that all the four form of the future tense. So after discussing all the four form of the last, that is the future tense, the tense portion we will be able to complete, and this will be a full revision of tense based voice. Means to say tense along with voice. Now without taking much time and without any further delay, we are going to discuss the last form of the tense, that is the future tense. And all the different form of the future tense we will discuss here. The third is the future tense. So what is the first form of the future tense? I think you all are quite aware of it. It is simple future tense or future indefinite tense. Now how will you be able to recognize, to identify the sentences of simple future? So behind it there is a structure and you have to memorize it anyhow. So what is the basic structure for the simple future tense? Its structure is subject plus shall or will plus first form of the verb plus object. This one is the active voice structure. So all the sentences of the simple future tense will be based fully on this structure. What structure is it? Subject, shall or will, then V1, then object. Now how will you capable, after knowing the basic structure in active voice of the simple future, how will you be able to convert it into the passive voice? So its structure will be object plus shall or will plus shall or will plus. So I think in class it has been discussed to all of you that this one was the structure for the simple future in active. In passive, object plus shall or will plus be plus V3 plus by plus subject. So this one is the structure for the passive voice. So all the sentences of the simple future tense will be converted from active to passive by following these two structure. And after following these two structure, it will be quite easy for all of you to convert the sentences from one form or to another without altering its sense. Why? Because in voice we say the same thing in both the voices, whether it is active or passive. Only the way of speaking is changed. Only the way is changed, but the meaning remains the same. So this is the way in which you will say the same thing in two different ways. There will be no any alteration in the meaning. Only you have to convert, only you have to change the form of sentence. Means to say, in active, the same thing is said which you are saying in passive. So for the simple future tense structure will be object plus shall or will plus be plus be3 plus by plus subject. Now moving to the second form of the future tense. It is known by the name of future continuous. Future continuous or future imperfect and the last future progressive. Now what will be the structure? Its structure will be subject plus shall or will plus be plus be4 plus object. This one will be the structure in active. In passive, the structure will be object plus shall or will plus be plus being plus be3 plus by plus subject. This one is the structure. For the second form of the future tense, that is the future continuous or future imperfect tense or future progressive tense, subject plus shall or will plus be plus before plus object. This will be the basic structure for the future continuous, and this structure in passive will be object plus shall or will plus be plus being plus be3 plus by plus subject. Now coming to the third form of the future tense, it is known by the name of future perfect tense. What name it is known by? Future perfect tense. Now let's see the third form of the future tense, future perfect tense. Now future perfect tense. What will be the basic structure for future perfect tense? Its structure will be subject plus shall or will plus have plus be3 and the last object. So this will be the structure in active voice for the future perfect tense, and for the passive voice what will be the structure? Its structure will object plus shall or will plus have been. There will be the use along with have, you will have to use have been plus v3 plus by plus subject. So this one is the structure for the passive voice for the third form of the future tense, which is known by the name of future perfect tense. As I am telling you again and again that there is no any passive voice structure for all the last form of different tenses, whether it is present, past or future. So future last form will also not have any type of passive structure. Only we will know about the name and the structure of the last form of the future tense, known by the name of future perfect continuous. Future perfect continuous. So let's see what will be the structure, and after knowing this, it will be the completion of your revision class tense based voice. Now coming to the last form known by the name of future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense. Now what will be the basic structure for recognizing the sentences of future perfect continuous tense? It will be subject plus shall or will, have been, before plus object. Subject plus shall or will plus have been plus before plus object is the structure for the future perfect continuous tense. Means to say all the sentences means of the future perfect continuous tense will be based on this structure, and all the sentences of the future perfect continuous tense is fully framed, which is based on this structure. What? Subject plus shall or will plus have been plus fourth form of the verb, and last there is the use of object. So this one was your revision class for the tense based voice. So I think it's time to summarize whatever so far we have discussed right now. It is time to summarize, and in a nutshell I will tell you about the tense and voice, and structure will say everything, and structure is, I think, is going to be quite crucial for all of you. And after seeing the structure, you will have to maintain these all things, that reading these all things will boost up your knowledge, and you will be capable of recognizing the sentence, because in English grammar it is quite essential to recognize, to identify the sentence, that whether this sentence belongs to which form of the tense, and how you are capable of recognizing it by memorizing the basic structure for different tenses. As so far we have discussed this all thing, and I think this was a very useful class for all of you for utilizing your time, and thanks for giving your time. And now it's over from my side. Goodbye. Thank you.